Hello and welcome to another tutorial here on MRC Photographic. All of the tutorials and the videos in this channel are made specifically for the students in the photography department at Midhurst Rother College in West Sussex, England. However, if you find them useful and if they're helping you at this time during COVID, then brilliant, that's great. So what we're going to be working on today is we're going to be creating a tilt shift effect in Pixlr. So what is tilt shift? So tilt shift is where we physically change the angle or tilt the lens of our camera, and this creates a bar of focus which moves through the center of the image depending on which way you've tilted your lens, which creates this area which is very clearly in focus, and then the outer focus area falls off gradually towards the top and the bottom. Now, when doing this with a lens, the proper way, so to speak, you can see the effect in real time. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be creating this in post-production. So we're going to be doing it as an after method. And that's absolutely fine as well. So Richard Silver is a study I get year 10 photography students at Midhurst Rother College to look at. And here he is. So for this, we're going to be using Pixlr.com, so Pixlr.com. I've done numerous tutorials using Pixlr ever since the March 2020, and this one's here for you today. I've got an image all lined up. Usually you could go to Open Image, go find your photo, and away you go. Now, the best thing about Pixlr is all you need is a computer, an internet connection, and images to work with. So that's exactly what I've got here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this image, which is ready for us to use, and that will load it in for you. And you'll see we've got this really beautiful pier, which is in Portsmouth, and we've got the kind of slow exposure causing the blurred movement of the sea there. But you will notice that everything that is still within the image is nice and sharp. Okay, that's really important in order to see the tilt shift effect, is that what is supposed to be still in our photographs is nice and sharp. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we're going to go ahead and create a duplicate of our background layer. So next to the layer, we've got these three dots here. We're going to click on those and we're going to create a duplicate layer. So you'll see that will be titled background copy. Now Pixlr doesn't have a dedicated tilt shift filter, so we've got to be a little bit crafty with what we do, but that's absolutely fine. So in the menu at the top of the Pixlr window, we're going to go to Filter, Details, and Blur. The blur amount that you apply is completely up to you. Sometimes it's better just to move the slider box to one side so you can see the image as you work. I'm going to go for about 50%. And you'll see that that image has become blurry there for you. Before I leave that, I'm going to take a screenshot because it's important that we're documenting our processes. There's nothing in the GCSE specification at AQA that says you must use Photoshop. So Pixlr is a great resource to be able to use at home if you don't have access to Photoshop. It is very capable. Once we're happy with that blur amount, we're going to go ahead and click Apply. And that will apply that blur to that layer. It's only applied it to this background copy, and that's exactly what we want. So what we're going to do from here is you'll notice that the whole image is in focus, blurred out rather. We want to now create our out of focus area. In the toolbar on the left, I'm going to go to this pair of scissors here, which enables us to make cutouts and masks. At the top, I'm going to select Draw Mask, which is this kind of paintbrush icon. Now, I've already been experimenting with the settings that work for this, and depending on how high resolution your image is, depends on the setting that works best for you. So by all means, experiment. But you want a decent sized brush because we are going to be taking out a section. And you also want to make sure that the softness of your brush is really dialed up as well. This is going to create this kind of feathered effect. So we get rid of those really kind of clean cut kind of dead line within the image. We want it to blur and kind of fade nice and easily. So if you've got the you can come back to this and try lots of different settings as you go along. But what I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to quite simply just click and drag across the middle. You'll notice this kind of pink-red mist will go across. That's absolutely fine. That's just showing you where you're drawing that out. and then when I release my mouse click, you'll see that that area will mask out. So it's not actually getting rid of it, it's hiding it. And you'll see really nicely how that blur effect has kind of faded through the middle here. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and take another screenshot so I can include that in my bookwork to show what I've done. And then we're going to save a copy of this image. So to do that, we're going to go to File, Export. We're going to go File, Save. File, Save. Select JPEG, crank quality up if you want to, that's fine. And then click Download. Because it is a free software, it is going to show you an advert, but you know what? That's absolutely fine because it's such a great piece of software. And it is entirely free to use. I don't mind them showing me an advert because that's how they make their money. That's how they enable themselves to remain free, which is great. So what that's done is it's downloaded that file into my downloads, so it's ready to use. And there it is. When we display our edits in our books, it's important we make sure we have three things, three images or three visual things. The before image, so before we did any editing to it, the screenshot or screenshots, screen grab, print screens, whatever you want to call them, that show your process, and the final outcome image, the edited image that has been changed by you. When we display these in our books and we write about them, it's really important that we are talking about how your edit has been created. So what have you done? How have you done it? And also making links back to the artist. So in this case, Richard Silver, how is it that you have aspired to create your imagery in the way that he does? So that's all for today's tutorial. If you have any questions or if you have any specific tutorials you'd like, then the email contact for this channel is in the channel description. So head over and take a look at that. Apart from that, thanks for watching and enjoy your tilt shift.